Hey everyone, I'm David Room. Just a little lunch break programming stream today. Um, I've been working on some what I call high detail space art scenes using my kind of unusual workflow of doing all of the modeling and even some of the Blender shader programming in Python, and then controlling Blender and visualizing and rendering. So today there's a couple of miscellaneous things I want to work on. I'm working on adding some image decals to a ship, and I have some little tweaks that I need to make to the decal shader that I have in Blender. And I also am going to try to add something to my sort of default compositor node setup that I've been kind of adding manually for a while, but I need to just have be sort of part of what automatically comes up. And might do some other 3D stuff here. I guess it kind of depends on how quick these things go. And I'm having a good busy start of the week at my day job, so I don't want to spend too long away. But let's just get started. I'm going to get some music going here. And I hope if you're watching this, whether you're watching live or later, that you're inspired to take a lunch break or a break in the evening or whenever you're watching and maybe work on some of your own creative projects. Follow along, use this as an encouragement to make some progress in your own creative efforts. I know that's what I like to do when I'm listening to live streams, and it's always inspiring. So let me get some music started. Let me share my screen here. I've been listening to this White Bat Audio playlist, which is kind of intense, but I really like a lot of the music in it, so it's good. All right. So let's get started here. I think the first thing I want to do is actually, yeah, I want to add, so I got to update a part of a shader that I'm making for adding decals to things. And I'm going to show you what the issue is here. So let's bring up the project. So when I run this, it is generating this kind of description that a script that runs in Blender opens up and builds the scene with. And if we go over to rendered view here, I am, oh come on, rendered view. I'm adding these decals, but I want the decal to be rotated. So I need to set these scale values here, but I want this image to be rotated. And the way I'm going to do that, kind of an odd setup here where I'm doing a bunch of scaling and translation and things manually because I couldn't find a way using the mapping node to really have it behave like I was expecting it to behave. But what I do want the ability to do is I do want the ability to rotate this somewhere here. So what we want to do is we want to basically do something like this, where we add a, looks like vector rotate node in here, and then we almost certainly are going to want this to be on the z-axis, right? But we'll want to be able to specify rotation, and specifically I want to be able to rotate this guy 90 degrees. So when we offset it, we can do something like this. Now let's just think about this for a second here. Unfortunately, this is doing something that I maybe didn't want. I would like to keep these coordinates operating in the global space. So maybe I need to put this rotate somewhere else. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why. Just try putting this rotate here later. Yeah, and then see it does this shear thing when I do it there. I think we might just have to start with adding this rotation in here and just dealing with the fact that it's happening out of order, and then we'll come back some other time and get the behavior that I want out of it. Just 1 second here. Okay, so I don't understand why that is. I think is it just how this is being accumulated? Yeah, it's weird. Or maybe, oh, here's an idea. Maybe if yeah. There, that's what I want. I want to change this to vector. Then I get the... Then I get the rotation first. Is that going to give me what I want? No, these don't do anything. Just reset this. See, what I would like is this is probably just research for another time. But what I would like is I would like these to be global. And I would like that rotation to just be sort of separate. Probably have to do an inverse somewhere. But yeah, let's just go with this for starters. This will let us do what we want to do, and then we can figure out the proper way to do things later. So yeah, we want to add a vector rotate here, and then we want to add another little input like this that's going to connect to the angle. So let's go ahead and do this. Yeah. And if I did this again, I would not build these nodes programmatically because it's kind of a complicated setup, but it just is what it is. And Okay. Nice, and I could just make it explicit that we're doing z-axis rotation, so yeah. So we don't have any questions about that. Rotation type. We don't need to adjust any of the input values or anything. Okay. Now, we're going to hook things up. So we're going to hook up text coordinate into this, into mapping, and then put it here. So things line up, look nice. Oh, and then I'm gonna add a value just for, so. Just call it rotation. Because it's like a 2D rotation. It's going to be angle. Actually, yeah. We can just call this angle. Yeah. Change this. Yeah. Let's just arrange these a little bit different. Let's put this in here. Okay, now we should have an angle, and I've got to fix these up. So this is code where I'm preparing the materials that I'm going to be putting on the model. I see what I did. Okay. Okay. Let's just add some proper values in here right away. About 8, and we want this to be like 3. Okay. Yeah, nice. Worked first try. That can actually be somewhat larger. This guy here, we can change the sizes as well. I have some other little decals here. Let's try to actually just get those going. So let's, I think we're actually not using this one. It's too big. 3 for this one. This outlet's privateers can be bigger too, and actually that might look nice rotated as well. Let's see how this this node setup looks here. Does it look like how I was expecting? Yeah. This can be even bigger, can't it? This can be like 14. Nice. Hey Doug, how's it going? Yes, we are doing a nice midday stream here. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think it's really coming along. So, kind of what's motivating this is at some point I'd like to make a new cover for Uriel's Revenge that actually has the ship on it. I think we're a ways off. Like we're to the point now where I could make a cover that looks good. There's still some things to do that I want to do just in terms of like making the ship more accurate to what it looks like in the book. But we're definitely getting there in terms of like something that I would feel good about putting on a cover. So let me just try one thing here and see how this looks. It's fun having these things. Whoops. It's fun having these things set up and being able to manually experiment. That's kind of the goal of some of this, is like, yeah, that looks cool. Like being able to manually experiment with things, but then not have to repeat those experiments or click around to get the result. I think actually that looks a little bit better, and 3.5, yeah, okay. This is really starting to look like what I was picturing. I think this can just be moved down like, whoops, like here, minus 0.5. Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, so now I just got to copy these values back into my code. I'm going to just put this window here over on my other monitor while I copy stuff. Okay. So for decal B, we want a math.radians 90. Scale of 5, and position of 3.5 and -4 for decal C. Scale is 13, 3. The goal is I don't want to over-engineer these different like abstractions and stuff that I'm building, but I'm finding now, because I've been working on this project for quite a while, I'm finding that, you know, like what I'm doing is complex enough that I do need quite a few abstractions just to keep the complexity of it under control. Okay. Now, you can also try some other things here too, but I just want to, if this works, then we're going to move on, maybe do a little code cleanup, and make sure that we didn't make a mess. Oh yeah, that looks pretty sweet. And what I want to do eventually here too is I want to have an actual image of Martin Luther here as well. But to do that, I need to experiment a little bit with colors, how I'm using color. Oh, actually, here's the other thing I was going to do. I was going to add these same things to the panels on the other side. So let's see here. I've got a there's just an opposite side set of panels here. So this is going to be 4M0, 3M0, and 2M0. Okay. Yeah, so you can see right now that the decals are not on that side. Let's reload this and we'll see that. We should see that working. And we should actually be able to see this stuff in material preview as well. So let's do that. Yeah. And let me just check that. Oh, there things. Oh, shucks, did I screw up? Screwed up the little decal somehow. Oh, should be minus 0.5. There we go. Okay. I'm not entirely satisfied with how I've implemented the decal system yet, but it's like it's a start, and it doesn't take an impossibly long time to set up, so that's worth something. I feel like we're on the right track. All right, and let's look at it in its rendered glory. Yep, and there's that stuff on the other side. Could actually, I could put that big EP logo on these panels. That would look cool. Yeah, let's just do that quick, as long as we're in the thick of this. So this guy it's going to be 3M6 and 3M2. M6, 3M2, decal A, and let's just see if we can guess. We don't want to rotate it 90 degrees. Decal A, but it is going to be big. It's going to be like scale 12. Actually, this might, yeah, scale 12 and offset by 1 and Y. Okay, I'm getting excited about this now. Yeah, okay. Scale's too big, but yeah, way too big. Let's see what size looks like reasonable there. you might want to offset the Y or the X a little bit too, depending, maybe like 8. Let's do 8, 3. Still really too big. Well, I can't say I'm super crazy about how that looks, but we'll leave it there just because. Actually, I suppose I could. One interesting thing about this is you kind of see things you don't expect. Like, I was not expecting the it really looks better to have things be rotated 90 degrees. Okay, that is just about exactly what I want. So copy these over. So we want another 90 degrees. Scale of 6. And -4. And 0. Okay. Sweet. Okay. Now, the other thing that I want to do is I want to add the ghost glow to the compositor. So, basically, we want to add a second glare node with type ghosts and a really low strength, like it's too small for people to see probably. That might be too weak. But yeah, this just needs to be in here. I've been adding it all the time. It really adds an extra little something. So we'll get that in there. Okay, so to do that, I've got a compositor set up. So, and I'm eventually gonna parameterize these, but for now, Let's see if this does it. I think it will. Oh. Didn't complain. Oh, I probably need to add... Oops. Some kind of... Oh, it's still just complaining about that. We're gonna fix that too. Oh, we gotta link this stuff up. So we gotta go glare into glare ghosts, and then glare ghosts into the exposure. This is all this stuff. Once you have it kind of going, is really, it's not too hard to modify. There's always room for finding better abstractions, but I'm pretty happy with it. All right, ghosts. Yeah, this looks like what we want it to be. So, and do we see a little bit of the ghosts? Yep, just a little bit. And my experience has been this shows up more strongly in the final render, so let's just do a final render and see what it looks like. So let's turn on our nice stars, high quality stars. Let's just hit render, see what we get. This takes a really long time to render, and I don't know, it doesn't seem like it takes anywhere near this long on my other machine, but it could be I'm just thinking of something else, haven't looked at this for a while. This should not take this long. Something is a little goofy here with my final render setup. Oh, did it lock up again? Oh, 37, there it goes. While that's rendering, we can clean up some of this. So, these decal file names we can put up in a constants. So long. That's so weird. Should not take that long. something's goofy with that I gotta debug. Nice. Well, there's our result. We can't really see the ghosts too much here. Might have it turned down too far. But that's okay. Yeah, this is looking good. This is what I was hoping for. I think the text adds a lot to it. I have this philosophy of like, I don't want to add unnecessary detail to things, but I want to find ways to make things look interesting in a way that, you know, makes sense to me. And I think like adding interesting text to something probably is a good way to do that. So I'm happy with the progress I'm making here. Let me just test that compositing setup here with another project. Whoops. Yeah, see, this is why. Do this. There's stuff I'm not catching. Oh yeah, there we're getting a little. It's just really faint. I should probably make this the default be 0.01, just so that you can actually see that it's doing something. The default edge color that I have on this model is a little bit too high. I need to dial it back, but it has a cool look to it, even like it is. Cool. Alright, yeah, definitely we want 0.01 instead of... let's see here. Strengths. So 1. And let's get rid of some of this crap output here. Yeah. See if we get cleaner output here. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's looking like I want it to. And the nice thing with all these nodes is like you can just mute them. So if you know, it doesn't really hurt anything to have them in your node setup, because you can just turn it off if you don't want to look at it. So there's with no noise, no. So adding film grain, that's probably hard to see on YouTube, but adding film grain back in, ghosts, general glare, lens distortion. And of course, exposure is kind of critical for the realistic sun strength setting that I have. But cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna just check if there's anything else quick to work on. But I think I better get back to my day job. But we got a couple things done here that have been bugging me that I didn't have in small fixes, but good things to have that's going to save me some manual work. So thanks to everyone who watched for hanging out. Good to see you, Doug, as always. Hope your day is going well. And again, I hope if you're watching that this encourages you to work on some of your own creative projects. Maybe throw me out in the background while you work on some creative projects for company. That's what I do with other live streams. And I'd love to see you in the chat sometime and hear about what you're working on. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.